Hey, I was gonna create a video this week that would be playing while we hit the live button. Hey, that's all right. You ready?
I'm ready. We're
All right, guys.
live.
Welcome to episode 91 of the Drag Driver Pete Show, presented by Summit Racing. Tonight, we're kicking off our pre-PRI Show 2024 content. We've got Tommy, we've got Kevin, we've got Alec from Summit Racing on. This is gonna be great. We're gonna have a lot of fun with them. We're going to have Eric Grilliot from Mahle Motorsports is going to be on, and Luke B from Howard's Cams is going to be on to round out the show. Each of these guests have a booth at PRI this year, so we're going to talk about like some tips. We're going to talk about newbie stuff. We're going to find out what they're excited about for PRI, and then we're probably going to see maybe who their celebrity crush is and who they hope to meet while we're there. So, Mr. Eric, will you hit that intro video and get this thing going?
Yeah, let's do it.
We're gonna pack things up and hit the road, try to make it the next day.
All right, guys. Like I said, welcome to episode 91 of the Drag Driver Pete Show, presented by Summit Racing. My name is Mike Narks. I am the host of this episode that you're watching now, which is the show, which is live on Wednesday nights, 2 hour episode here. And on Saturday mornings, we do the news, which is an hour long, just a hard hitting, man. We just hammer through drag and drive content. And also, as you can see behind me, we're going to be at PRI. So I'll be hosting the Drag and Drive Awards, also presented by Summit Racing. Y'all, next week. This is exciting. And my right hand man, Mr. Eric White, please introduce yourself. Tell them what you got going on, dude.
I am Eric White. I am the co-host of both the show and the news. Right-hand man pretty much means anything drag driver Pete related. I've got a hand in the circuit, uh, artwork, photos. We just did
Yeah,
5,000 photos for Drag Week. So pretty
you
much,
did 5,000 photos for Drag
yeah,
Week.
yeah.
Don't get it
So
twisted. You did that and all the editing, posting, and everything. You're an animal.
yeah. So pretty much anything that needs to be done, I am here to help with.
Yep.
So let's jump into it, and we always got to start the show by thanking you guys, our race car friends. Already a bunch of people in here making comments. Again, you guys keep us going week in and week out doing this. And of course, we can't do this without our sponsors, Summit Racing. See the new hat here, Summit
Mm-hmm.
Racing. Mahle Motorsports, Driven Racing Oil, Car Chains 3D, WAF Racing, Performabuilt Transmissions, J-Wire Solutions, Howard's Cams, Sweet Patina, PowerTube TV, and Racing Junk.
Man, I'm telling you, that's a huge list. And I have a feeling that it's going to grow. Got a couple meetings at PRI. I'm excited to spread the word about the drag and drive lifestyle that's out there. Well, guys, you know the deal. Summit Racing started as a one-man operation and is now the world's largest and baddest. Just, I mean, awesome car part, retailer. They have 4 facilities. They have 200 plus catalog editions they've sent out. They feel your passion, they save you money, they deliver fast and offer top-notch customer service for more than 1,500 brands. Make sure to download the Summit Racing mobile app for easy access to speed parts. You can find them on Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram. You can also find the On All Cylinders podcast, which is one of my favorite podcasts. And if you kind of like obviously things like this right here that you're watching, but they dive into everything automotive. So it's kind of cool. And then from humble origins to the social media lane, Summit Racing stands by your need for speed. You can find everything on summitracing.com. And Mr. Eric White, you're kind of hinting at some nerdy stuff you had done. So let's talk about that for just a minute.
Yeah, typically you are the stat guy getting all nerdy with that. Well, listen, I uploaded all of the drag week photos, and there was, I don't know what the number was, but we uploaded a lot.
Yeah.
So I got thinking, how many cars did I actually get a photo of? Now, I wasn't going to go back and look, but I couldn't help myself because I needed to know. All right. So 349 cars are what was on the list that I got from the day 5 results.
Mm-hmm.
Of 349 cars, there was a photo that I could see the car number on to understand who that was. 338 photos.
Bro, that's insane. Who
90
is taking? Give us the percentage.
97%. 97%. So,
Great.
but I didn't stop there, okay?
Oh, I love it.
There's 11 cars that didn't get a photo, right? 6 of those only made a pass on day 1 and didn't complete the event.
Wow.
So 5 cars that completed the week is what I didn't get a photo of.
Oh my gosh, dude. That's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah. So I
Listen.
broke it down even farther because I know
Oh
you
man.
like stats, right?
Yes. Go to where it's like just obnoxious.
So after day 1, 249 cars had a picture taken after day 1.
Oh my gosh, dude.
After day 2, it was 284. Day 3, 304. Day 4, 314, and then the final day, 338.
Man, okay, so let's talk about that for a second because this is really important for folks that are out there to understand like how monumental this is. I don't know if anybody's ever done. I mean, obviously, I don't know if anybody's ever done that kind of math on who they got, obviously, but to have that and post it and have that many available for people that are out there as a memorial of some kind. To I know you got to dig through 4,000 photos that Eric took and posted, but if you were a racer and you didn't see your car in those photos, dude, this many people.
Yeah.
Wow, that's pretty awesome, man.
Yeah.
Congratulations. That's cool.
So if anybody didn't see their car, I suggest
Look
going back
again.
through and checking because I know day 3, 4 is when I started really going through and tagging people. So for
Mhm.
those that don't know, my process was upload photos, go to that results sheet, find your car number and your name, and then see if you were on Facebook, add you as a friend, and tag you in the photo. So we're talking like 200 photo drops at a time. This is what I
Dude,
was doing. So there
yeah.
are days 0, 1, 2, maybe some of 3 where I wasn't doing that. So if you didn't get tagged, that does not mean there wasn't a photo of your vehicle.
Wow, that's impressive, dude. That's the kind of stuff I love, man. That's some nerdy shit right there.
I figured you would like it, and it's all on a little note card here right in front of me.
What's really cool about that for folks that people need to understand is like that never happens. People rarely get pictures of nearly every car that's out there. So that is super, super cool, man. It
Yeah,
makes you want to go back through them and see who wasn't tagged and tag them.
yeah, and you got to figure, like, if I was gonna break it down by class even and say like I got 8 of 8, and I didn't get that far down, but you're talking your A and B run groups, right? Those are the cars that usually get the attention, but
Yep.
338 out of 349 means C and D run, like there's photos of your cars out there.
Yeah.
So, you
Yeah.
know,
And good photos.
yeah. And if you look at the Finnegan video, you can spot me on the platform in day 4. There
Yeah.
is no other photographer down there by me. Like,
Yeah.
so, and how much did you and I see each other when I was taking photos? Like, we were
Dude.
different places the whole day. So,
Yeah. I mean, there were times where we didn't see each other for hours. You know,
yeah,
'cause we were both running, doing other stuff, videos. I was at the starting line. You're at the finish line getting parachute shots and into the track shots, man, which came out great.
yeah.
That's awesome. That is awesome. Well, dude, let's do this. Let's bring in Tommy and the team again. We got we'll introduce you. Hey, just drop that on you real quick. You're coming in right now.
Had to wake him up.
Yeah. So with us right now is Tommy Dupree in the middle there. We got Kevin Jordan and Alec, who you guys all know if you've been to an event and the huge white Summit truck has been there. generally one of these three guys have been there. Has there been anybody else that's worked at Drag and Drive this year?
Not this year.
No.
John, another guy within my department, he did Drag Week last year, and we did Sick Week a couple of years ago together. So
Nice.
he's got a few under his belt.
But
Yeah,
it's
but
mostly us.
Yeah, he's not nearly as cool as these guys. I'm talking to you, John Horner, right? His last name, John Horner.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure we'll see him at PRI. But guys, if you'll do us a favor, kind of introduce yourselves and tell us kind of what you do within Summit Racing.
Well, first I got to say hi to my son, Justin. He just tagged me in that. So, hey, buddy, it's almost time for bed. So I'm Tommy Dupree. I'm in the Motorsports department. Anytime you see the brand at any sporting event, sponsorships, track signage, different race programs, drag and drive, repeat, stuff like that. That's what my department does.
Mahle in-house. I work in our tech data management department. So basically anytime you click product on the webpage, you see all the data displayed there. That's what we're doing. We're figuring out where that part lives, best way to display it so you can find it easy, get the best information on it, see what's relevant. We handle all that.
Oh, man. I can't imagine the spreadsheets you guys go through.
Pretty big.
Yeah.
I'm Kevin Jordan. I also work tech data management with Alec. Kind of do basically the same thing. Kind of look over, issues on the website, anything that we need to correct, work that part of it, and also help add new product as it comes available.
So both these guys have a history with sales through Summit. So that's kind of how they got drug into this. And they're also willing to be away from family and kids if they have those, and hit the road with us for numerous events throughout the year, and especially these are my go-to guys for the drag and drive stuff. I can put them in the truck, not have to worry about it. As much as I like to go work the events, I like to compete even more. So when we're doing one of them, these are the guys in the truck.
That's awesome.
Well, I got to say, I ordered parts on Sunday, and they showed up on my doorstep today. So you guys knock it out with shipping.
Yeah.
Well, they do a really good job here, and they work hard to get stuff in and out the door, especially going to this time of year, the silly season where people are starting to renew stuff. And if you're thinking about doing something new or want to upgrade something, you better get on the ball now, because when Christmas time hits, that's when manufacturers typically slow down a little bit, may not have what you need. We want to make sure you get everything you need in a timely manner. So don't drag your feet doing this.
Well, and I saw today, I think Sick posted it, that there's 53 days until Sick Week. So if you're still working on your car and ordering parts, you better get to it right now.
We're ready to drive to Florida, or well, actually South Georgia. I can't wait.
Yeah, I'm ready. Well, let's talk about, let's back up 2024 events. Where did you guys go? What did you attend? All that stuff.
Well, we do as a company, we do over 50 events a year. So that's why we can't be at all, as much as the three of us and two other guys, which you know very well, Jim and Chris. As much as we'd like to be at all of them, we can't. We kind of got to spread the love. But drag and drive wise, we only Sick Week. Yep, and then we did Drag Week. That was the only two drag and drives we actually made it to this year. Yeah. But we
did Autocross Week.
Yeah, so, Summit has something similar to a drag and drive, but it's autocross and drive. So we actually did that as well. That's one of our, I won't say in-house events, but that's one of our events.
Yeah, that's an event that I really want to attend. I think that would be fun, but I'm really nervous to take on a new hobby. I think that's what would happen.
Well, Alec is very good at it. That's kind of his forte, actually. But I get out there and all I see is a sea of cones, and I don't know where the hell to go.
Yeah,
Been there.
My brain is not working fast enough to say, "Oh, that was a direction, not just a cone down."
Right.
Yep, you gotta memorize those layouts, and I've done some low speed autocross here in town, and I'll get turned around real easy, and then I get frustrated, and I'm like, I don't want to do this no more.
So events wise, we do a number of drag racing events. We do like autocross stuff, some road race stuff. We do car shows. We do a ton of car shows. We typically start with Sick Week and Barrett Jackson. So while the winter's terrible here in Ohio, we head west and south to get the trucks out and actually go out and see our customers and have a good time with them. But then we just kind of, part of what I do is planning the schedule and the routes for the trucks. And with everything going on now, that's becoming more and more challenging to do as well, to try to touch everything. So but we're working on making that better, which, part of that. So.
So what?
Go ahead. Sorry.
What events were new for you guys or new for Summit in 24?
The standout for us, nothing. It was an awesome event, but nothing racing related. We actually did Triple Crown this year, which was at Nashville Super Speedway, and that's a Bobby Alloway event, which is a world famous car builder. He put this event together, and it was like the best of the car builders. There was not a car there probably less than $250,000. And if you're a car guy and just like seeing cool stuff, and there was no right or wrong way to do it. There was some import stuff. There was your classic hot rods. There was a ton of stuff that was there. It was very impressive, very impressive. That one stands out to me the most, I guess, as far as new events.
Right, and then you guys, World Cup was new for you this year, right?
No, second year doing World Cup. That one, the Miller family does a great job with that. We tried for 5 or 6 years to get into that, and they actually have a waiting list. We started that last year, and that's a huge event. A lot of drag and drive guys do this event. Brett LaSala, there are a ton of fast street cars are there. 13 different countries represented this year. I don't think there was anybody left in Puerto Rico this year because they were all there.
They were all at World Cup.
The event is so good for us and the international side of it. I actually flew a guy in from one of our other locations that speaks fluent Puerto Rican. He is Puerto Rican, and he was a game changer for us. So the language barrier was quite a lot for that event, but it's awesome. We sold parts to people from France, Germany, Malta. Malta is a tiny little island, but they have an awesome. We had to look it up. I said, where are they drag racing? It Malta has an awesome drag strip.
It's about a third the length of the country, but
yeah. I don't think the island's maybe 20 by 10. It's
wow.
It's very small, but
that's all they got to do.
Yeah, and weather's good there apparently. So, but no, that's a really cool event. I encourage anybody that likes fast street car stuff. You got to like the imports too, because they pair them up. They have a very good parity scenario, and they'll run domestic stuff against import stuff as long as they can until they get down to where they have to run one against the other. So, but it's an awesome event.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome, man. That's an event that's on my list for sure. Well,
I think
what
the slowest go there was in the 8s this year. So there was unbelievable fast.
And I think you have to submit time slips and everything to even be.
You do. You have to submit a time slip. Before you're allowed to. In fact, Cletus had to do that with the new car. He had to.
He was testing the day before, wasn't he?
Yeah, in Bradenton, he had to go out and make some laps and get his time slip turned in. And then before he could even load the car up to head to Maryland. So.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Well, what are some fun car stories from the year, of cars that you guys competed in? Not just because we're going to talk about the what I'm dubbing the Summit saves the day or something. I don't know what we're going to call that, but let's talk about some cars you guys raced.
Man, get that hideous thing off.
Come on, look at that decal in the front. Boy, that adds horsepower and speed.
It looked nicer if it would put on straight.
Yeah.
It looks good from here.
Hey, did you have intern Chris?
Intern Chris's fault for that, yes. Yeah. Oh, we can do this. So no, I
cut that hood apart in the parking lot, nice straighter line.
Yeah,
we didn't even get the sticker on straight.
We didn't even have windshield wipers on that until day -0.
Travel day.
Yeah, and we had to take the hood off and cut it apart to make the wipers fit. So, no, my gosh, so many cool cars, and I'm going to kind of keep it to the drag and drive stuff. But so many cool cars are coming out of the woodworks for this stuff. That things I wouldn't have ever dreamed when I first started watching and going to some of the drag and drives, my first one was at Norwalk, and that had to have been, I don't know, 16 or something like that.
Yeah, probably.
And the innovation these people have, back then, an 8-second car was fast, and it still is a fast car.
Yeah.
But some of the ways some of these people are coming up with being innovative and the new, there's so much new and better equipment now that I won't say it's easier, but it's more obtainable.
Yeah.
I'm going to let these guys pick up. What was your favorite car out of?
I don't really think I have a specific car. My favorite thing about the drag and drive is when you see like big tire promos or anything big tire put their street tires on, and the only thing they can get to fit are like super swampers. So you just see like a full tube chassis car with the knobbiest mud tires you can imagine, just humming down the road.
Some 44-inch Dixie Pex going down the road.
Just the funniest thing you can imagine. And if you don't know what's going on, just a passerby on the freeway, that's got to leave you.
And it looks so goofy because they're this wide and super cool. So like the back of that car just looks like it's just hovering. I think the reason they do that's because I don't think
that's the only thing they can fit.
And drag tires. I don't think drag tires in that size will balance or something like that. I think that like there's
not for any extended
size.
period of time. Yeah, and any drag tire you're going to get that tall is going to be a bias ply, basically. Yeah. So which is not a good thing. But
and any kind of elements on the road or anything you don't want. You don't want a full slick.
Yeah. No, not at all. And let's be honest. Mud tires really give you the best burnout smoke. So,
and Brandon made a good point. They're probably losing a few points gear ratio wise by running a tire that tall too. That definitely helps.
Oh yeah, that's for sure. Kevin, what about you?
I like the boat, of course.
The
boat at Drag Week. That was a little bit beyond different.
I appreciate the trailer behind it, the jet ski trailer. That was
fantastic.
Perfect.
I also like that the sleeper 4-door Chevy too. It was like a 63-4 maybe. That
66. The one that barely got the wall with the Pro Charged LS in it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that was
a sleeper out there.
That was a nice one.
You guys are getting.
Yeah, and that car's an 8-second car, and
it is
everywhere. And they did a really good job on the cage on that car. It's very, very hidden. Like if you're in a parking lot at a car show, you walk right past that car, which I love.
Yeah, 100%. Till you walk around and see the parachute mount, but
right.
Yeah. Oh, hey, that's weird.
Yeah.
Why are they carrying that?
All right. Well, Mike kind of hit on it, the Summit Saves. So what are some racers that you guys helped out this year, parts that you had to keep people racing, stuff like that?
Well, I'm going to turn it over to these guys, but I'm going to say something about this picture here. If you haven't watched my buddy Mike's 4-hour marathon of a movie, it's awesome. It broke it up in 2 parts, and I actually screenshotted this picture. They broke a toggle switch at, I think it was first day. Yeah. And he stepped out of the car and said, I wonder if Summit's got something like that. And then they beelined over, walked up to Alec, very impromptu, and Alec sold him the switch, and which I thought that was a very cool thing to see in this movie, and we greatly appreciate that. But I couldn't tell you how many these guys have a better account for how many people they actually helped finish the event, and that's why we initially started this. We want to make some money at it. Obviously, we got expenses to cover, but as being a competitor the first year, and I saw what opportunities were out there to keep people going, it's a feel good thing for us.
Absolutely.
Keep the customer on the road and let them finish, because that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
Anything come to mind specifically for you guys?
Yeah. When these guys come over broke, that's obviously our goal to get them back on the road. If we can get them on the road, it's a win for them. Definitely a win for us. One instance that comes to mind, a guy came over and actually he lost his chute, tore it up. We actually had a pro stock parachute on the truck and was able to sell it to him right there on the spot.
Wow.
Definitely a surprise.
You can thank John Horner for that. That came from one of the pro mod events.
Yeah. Like this looks like a parachute, I think, right here. Grab that.
Yeah, no, we've gotten better. Every single event, we kind of keep track of stuff that we don't have, because unfortunately we can't carry everything. we've gotten really good at carrying probably, I'd say, at least 80% of what people need. But no, we've kept track. We improve our inventory, and it's definitely, I wouldn't be surprised if we've helped keep over 100 racers an event actually in competition.
And that's a big thing for us, is writing down the lost sales. Like, crap, why didn't we have that?
Like, now we should have that.
We should have that.
Yep. Stock it for next year.
Alec and I were talking today as we were working on the new truck, and to get to the level that we're actually at with the parts coverage, we never intended it to be like this. We were actually a marketing department that got into sales, I guess. Mm-hmm. And, the parts offering we had was a quarter of what we did. And now in the last, this is our, fourth year going into this, I guess. It's definitely been a learning curve, but we definitely pushed a lot of new stuff, new ideas, and we're trying to add stuff all the time.
Yeah. Well, so that immediately makes me think, like, if you ship a part, do you to the next track, because like you don't have it, if you see that kind of repeating, do you guys add that to the list? Like, oh shoot, there were this event had 3 axles for 8 or something like that.
And it doesn't even have to be something to that extent. If it's something, it's just like
it's like, why didn't
we have that? It gets added. But yeah, if there's repeat offenders as far as parts wise, yes. Especially at a drag and drive and any sporting event that's got has wheels, the biggest day for us is day 0, tech day.
Yep.
Especially sick week, because people come out for the first time, their belts might be out of date, they don't have the right jacket, their helmet's out not good enough, they don't have a head and neck restraint. At World Cup, it was, and I'm not going to name the class because I was totally shocked how many there was, but no window nets.
Yeah, window nets.
We shipped every window net that we had in Ohio to Maryland and got rid of them.
Yeah, because it was probably over 3 dozen nets.
Yeah, I was dumbfounded. But day 0 for us is typically the busiest day because everybody's forgotten everything. When we were at sick week this year, and I'm going to give props to my buddy John Sears. He is really, and Rick Dodge. Those guys are keeping all you guys and me safe, and they do a fantastic job with that. And there was so many guys that needed helmets. We had over a dozen helmets that we took, and finally when the last one was gone, I had jokingly went over to John. I said, if a guy comes in with a 13-second car and has a mop bucket, you better pass him because I'm out of helmets.
I ain't got no more.
Yeah, I could have one tomorrow, but I am out off the truck. So no, those guys do a fantastic job. And then through attrition, you kind of learn a lot of LS, valve train stuff.
Fittings,
tons of fittings.
Yeah, fittings, hose, and spark plugs. We have a very good offering of all that, from -3 to -20 fittings, spark plugs to fit pretty much anything. Even Jeff Kurzik's weird Coyote motor, I got some special plugs just for him one time. But we try to have all our bases covered as best we can. Even off the wall brake stuff. We have Willwood. We have strange. The strange pads. I've gone through several sets of the strange pads.
Yeah, just a little bit of everything.
And cooling fans. Awesome. That was a big thing for the drag and drive. The cooling fans.
Yeah. Well, and a lot of times those guys, they're testing that car, but they may be driving it at home and it's 60 degrees like it was here today. They get down there and it's 85 and there's traffic,
Well, absolutely. And that's a very good point. That actually happened to part of our struggles at Drag Week this year. When we tested, it was plenty cool and motor never got to a certain temperature. And then when it got hot down there, the motor surpassed that temperature and pulled in a fail safe. And it took us 3 days, and thank God to our friends at Big 3, Chuck Stefanski, helped us find what the problem was. So, awesome. No, absolutely.
Well, first, and I'm sure you guys at Summit will agree, Mike, we don't want to hear about your 60-degree weather days because it's like 20s.
Yeah, I played basketball in shorts today.
It's snowing its tail off outside the door in front of me right now. So,
yeah, this is a cool comment here. Bob Gruber saying at Sick Week 24, the connector on his MSD grid took a crap, wouldn't connect to the laptop. Summit had one back in business. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yep, I absolutely remember that. Yep, you're welcome, Bob.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. And I think that's really one that's why I think having the truck at these events is one of the best things that could happen. Two, I mean, it's a rolling billboard, let's be honest. But to be able to like meet somebody, you know, because a lot of guys that are ordering parts, I mean, Eric, did you talk to somebody the other day when you ordered your intake? Or did you just go on Summit, you found it, and you ordered it?
Yep,
You know,
that's all I did.
yeah, so it gives them an opportunity to really meet somebody that truly is there. You know, the guys that come to the events aren't hired help that are just there for an event. You know, they're legit Summit employees. That
Absolutely.
Are doing
And,
stuff all
you
the time.
know, having customers all over the country and only having 4 retail locations around the country, we might be the only Summit employee that these guys ever come in contact
Yep.
with, have a face-to-face. And that means a lot to us. You know, that's why we want to make a good impression no matter what.
Yeah.
Here's another one from Bob Ruppel. They saved my bacon at Indy by having a starter for my big block. We
Yep.
made our only pass just before 2 p.m.
Awesome.
Like
Very
those,
cool.
like seeing those comments have to make you guys happy to see. You know, this is exactly what we talked about. Like, how many people have you guys saved? And you know, these guys are chiming in with those scenarios.
Well, we greatly appreciate you guys, and we're going to keep doing it.
Absolutely.
Do you want to lead that into what we talked about before, or do we want to stay on your? Well, let's go ahead and talk about what we were going to talk about. Maybe a new truck being added to the fleet, because
Yeah,
it goes right along with what you're talking about.
It's really no big secret. We alluded to it at a few different events, but this has become so outrageous for us, not just with the drag and drive, but other events that we can actually have parts at. And we didn't start doing this until with the trucks. This is our 4th year, I guess.
Yep.
Yeah, and actually having parts on site on hand, and it has been so successful, and it again, it's a feel good thing for our company and our customers. We have added another, what we call our parts coach, and it is bigger. Alec and I spent some time with it today.
Yep.
And he kind of designed a racking system for it that's going to help us be more organized. We made a lot of mistakes with the first one. I mean, it was functional. We had way too many parts and way too few bins. And this new system is going to be fantastic. But yeah, we added a new truck, and it's a beast.
It is.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we're very excited about that. And if you guys or whoever's going to race the 6th week, you will see it there. It's going to be its maiden voyage. So
That's really cool. And I'm excited that, I mean, because listen, toter homes are expensive. They're real expensive. I've been looking.
Yeah.
They're real expensive. And
Yeah.
so for you guys to make that investment, that says a lot about what Summit sees in the car community. And so, now we talked about 50 events last year, and in the years past, I mean, dang, now is it like 70, 75, or is it actually going to give some people some time to be able to do their regular job instead of driving?
No. Because right now you're saying 70 events. Jim Greenleaf is at home watching this having a stroke. So no. No, he and I have made a pact to keep it manageable, and we're at max capacity right now, but it's going to afford us the opportunity to do other events where we were landlocked, I guess, not be able to get a truck from point A to point B. So it's probably always going to be around that number of events that we can manage safely and without killing each other. But that's the goal. But it's going to offer the opportunity for us to do more week-long style events like the drag and drives, the autocross, or we did Power Tour this year.
Yeah.
Greenleaf,
No.
So it just makes it easier on us, and we can be able to be in front of more racers. We're not doing as many events probably we're really close in 25, but they're better events. Some come and go. That's just through attrition. You've been someplace for a while. Sometimes it's good to have them go, where's Summit? Let them miss you, and then find you someplace else. But no, it does give us the opportunity to do more race support related events which is what we had in mind with these two trucks. So
Well, and you can position that second truck and not be, Ohio to Texas is 2 days easy in something
Right.
that's, as I would think. And so you could almost position it in another spot of the country and kind of, now you're not putting 300,000 miles on one truck a year. You're putting 300,000 on two trucks.
Right. Yeah. And, as far as making it logistically friendly for us, I myself within our company was the only guy that had enough license to drive our semi. We had two semis on the road. One is contracted and one we actually own. And it just, I can turn these guys loose with the coaches, and there's a lot less DOT restrictions on it.
Yep.
You're not required to have the license that you do to drive a full-blown semi up and down the road. So it just makes it easier on us to operate and be more efficient on the road. And it's actually keeping Summit employees within our group and not hiring an outside driver. While I've rarely had a bad experience with one, we like to have our folks do everything, and it just makes that easier for us.
Yeah.
But I will say real quick, anybody needs a first class X Pro Stock trailer, hit me up. We have one for sale, and that we're keeping one of the semis, but we have a truck for sale right now. So anybody reach out to Mike or reach out to me, find me on Facebook. We're going to be offering that very soon.
Yeah, go ahead.
This is a pretty cool idea I'd never thought of from Danny. Should plan a drag and drive from summit to summit.
I think more like a cannonball would be more fun. Do the summit triangle. You do Ohio, Dallas, and
Danny, it would depend on which summit to summit you're talking about. Ohio to Georgia, okay. Ohio to Texas, man, that's a haul. But I love the idea. That's a great idea.
Yeah, Ohio to Arizona. Let's just go. I mean, if you're going to do it, spend a month.
No.
Well, you guys got two trucks now, so it sounds like you need Mike and I to drive one of them across country.
Better be careful what you wish for, buddy.
Mike's ridden with us before.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. I love, man, it was so funny. I'll just tell the story real quick. Those guys, I know they had to be tired of me. Every time we'd get in that thing, I would instantly go to sleep. I'd be back in there like, I'm going to work for just a minute. I'd do like 20, 30 minutes worth of work. And then I would lay down on the couch, man, be out.
And that was during sick summer. And Kevin and I did everything we could to swerve and hit potholes, make you fall off the couch. So
Yes, we did.
It never worked, man. It never worked. I was out. Yeah, that was a good time. Well, y'all, I want to talk about PRI because obviously it's here. I can't believe it already. It's crazy. You guys have one of the best locations of any booth that's probably there in the yellow hall, booth 4401. It's right in a doorway. So what, I want to know what cars in the booth first, because last year there was a gorgeous Camaro. What's going to be there this year?
Actually, I hate to disappoint, but there's actually not going to be a car this year.
Oh, okay.
For the first time, we're actually going to have some parts displays, some new private branded stuff. Like our
That's
new
even
intake
better, to be
manifold,
honest, because like the car takes up so much space.
It does, and I am being a car guy and knowing what guys put into these cars. I am a nervous wreck. People getting around cars like that, and we don't have the room to stanchion it all properly, but no, we're excited to have parts there this time, and we're still going to do our normal thing. Come by and get your coupons, save some money. We're happy to see all our partners out there. We actually started doing this. This is our third or fourth time now. Summit really never was involved with PRI because we had to kind of find our place to do it. But now we do that. And so we have sanctioning bodies, we have race teams, we have tracks that we have partnerships with. It's a great place. We only get to see these people probably once a year. Mm-hmm. And, it's a great time to do that. So a lot of good meetings, as you mentioned, talking to sponsors. The only bad thing about, and Jim will attest to this, about our event is he and I have no place to hide. Now, granted, I'm not 6'8" like he is.
Yeah.
We have no place to hide, but we're right in the front door. So it is an awesome spot.
Yeah, that's really cool. And again, you guys have a great spot. I can't wait to see the displays you guys have. And you were saying turbos and what else?
So there's a new intake manifold that our guys worked with another company to do, and it is CNC billet. It is a really nice piece. It is
LS.
Yeah, the LS platform 2-piece. I'm not going to give you the exact number, but it has been tested to stupid amount of boost, more than anybody will ever make. And there's actually in the works another top that you'll be able to add a burst panel as well for it. So
wow.
Come by the booth, check it out. It's a nice piece. We just some of the odds and ends of our private label stuff that's race related. Some turbos, our turbo manifolds.
One of our some interior accessories. We got a bunch of the billet buttons, steering wheel.
Yeah, there's quite a bit of race related stuff.
I was impressed with the nitrous bottle bracket. That is a very nice piece.
It is. It's a very nice billet piece as well. So yeah, come by 4401, check it out, talk to us. Come by and tell me your drag and drive story.
Yeah, please do.
Is that intake manifold? Is that on the website already?
It is, yes.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure before I ordered the one that I just ordered, I was looking at that and it looks very nice.
Yeah.
It's a nice piece. Actually, it was nice enough that we put 2 manifolds on there, and we actually disassembled one, so you see the full inner workings of it,
how the runners attach. Yeah,
so it's a very thorough display. So definitely stop by and enjoy it.
Very cool. All right, I know this is Mike's favorite question out of everything we're going to ask. So, what is your guys' racer or celebrity that you're excited to see?
Oh man, that I actually don't. There's so many good friends there that I'm excited to see all of them. I know this is going to roll into another question you're going to ask here shortly, but we're going to have Alex Taylor in the booth on Friday. We're going to have he hasn't done a drag and drive yet, so we need to gang up on him. But he has a car or a truck. Clay Milliken's going to be in the booth. An OG drag and driver, Jeff Lutz, is going to be there, and the brand new reigning Top Fuel World Champion Antron Brown will be there. Those 3 guys will be there on Saturday. So
how cool!
That's a lineup.
But I've been in the industry way too long, but I have a lot of friends, and as we said, we've all kind of gone our different ways from different companies and sanctioning bodies, and you kind of lose touch with people. So this PRI for me is the opportunity to see some of these people and actually talk to them for that once a year thing. So I'm looking forward to seeing everybody.
That's awesome. And then we know what you'll be doing Thursday morning, but let's go ahead and talk about some PRI stuff here real quick. PRI Drag and Drive Awards presented by Summit Racing, December 12th, 11 a.m., room 241. If you haven't heard me screaming it from the rooftops, I'm going to put it right here on the screen for all you guys too. But I want to go through Drag and Drive Awards. We're going to do the top 3, quarter mile national event racers, top 3 averages. Dude, Brett LaSala, Bryant Goldstone, who actually holds number 2, 3, and 4, and Stefan Gustafson. So the top 3 racers, which are what we care about in a lot of our stats, is the race. So we're going to award those 3. We're going to award the top 3 8th mile guys, which this is kind of a cool deal. Shane Probst out of Redwood Rally won that one on a 275 tire. And then the number 2 and 3 8th mile racers were on a 235 tire at Sick Weekend Rally Radio.
Yeah,
that's great.
Those guys doing that with that small tire is insane.
Yeah, 460s for Matt Moore in second place, and then I think 470 something average for Sheldon Root in third. So those, and then I'm going to make an announcement right here that we haven't told anybody else anywhere else, but the quickest 235 8th mile, that is also another trophy that is going out for Matt Moore, who is also second in the 8th mile national stuff with a 468 at 6 weeks. So he's getting 2 trophies for the same event. So pretty awesome.
Yeah,
so
that's sweet.
Yeah, a lot of last year we had Goldstone took the number 1 spot in the 8th mile stuff because he's on a big tire. So we thought, man, we'll do a 235 tire trophy, Yeah. So same guy gets it. Matt gets to. He's second and first in the 235. So pretty cool.
Bad man.
Just crazy car.
And not only that, we're going to have more than 20 awards that's going to be given out at the show. So there's all kinds of awards that we'll be handing out. So it's going to be a good time.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah, I'm excited. We've been going through like who gets what, toughest roadside. That's going to be a hard one. 47 competitors. We're going to talk about that with Eric Grilliot from Mahle here in a minute. And man, it's wild. Last year, last bit of topic here, you were on with us for the PRI podcast. We got an opportunity to do that again. We're going to be obviously on Saturday. So we're going to live stream it right here where everybody's watching this. We're going to live stream it there, but then it'll also be on PRI's, their accounts and all that kind of stuff as well. And I messaged Jay Blanchard, and he's going to be on with us. So it'll be me and you and Eric and Jay Blanchard at least. And I'm going to see if we can get Goldstone to sneak in there too.
And how many hours do we get to do this?
Right. They give us an hour. I'm like, can we get 2 please?
That you guys are a room full of talkers. So that'd be a good time. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I'm excited about that one. That's going to be a good one. And, Eric and I were talking before this, and I'm sure you guys have the same thing, but we're so busy. Like we have meetings 2 of the mornings at like 7:30 with potential sponsors. We have, stuff we've got to run around and do all day, live streaming from sponsor booths and the award show and all that kind of stuff. Like PRI is crazy. It's like a real job. Intern Chris. Yeah. We need Chris back. Oh yeah. Jim had made a comment on one of the posts earlier about this and said that, why didn't we have Chris on? I said, Chris needs to host his own show. He needs like a intern Chris show.
There you go.
The reality TV shows when they have that one guy with the 5-second buzzer doing the beats. We'd all 3 have buttons if Chris had a show. So.
That's awesome. Yeah, big shout out to Chris. He drove Eric and rode with Eric whenever I had to leave drag week early, and when he wasn't driving and I was driving, him and Eric were getting shots and shooting rollers, and he was manning the camera and all that kind of stuff. We really put him to work. I think he thought he was just going to hang out, but we didn't let him do that at all.
Hey, Chuck.
He said no one would watch it. Yeah,
I have to tell you that Chris was actually more productive with you guys than he actually is in his real job here with Summit. So what, did you guys feed him better or what?
No, I don't think we fed him at all. We had Waffle House one night, and I think he was like, okay, I'm done with these guys.
Yeah, you seen in the video, he didn't even sit with us when we were taking our break and eating at the Red Hot's hot dog.
Yeah, he gone.
I want to thank him. He sent me that picture. I missed it in the video the first time, so if it wasn't for him sending me that screenshot, I wouldn't have saw that.
We kid him a lot, but he's part of our group, and he and I, we have some really good drag week stories that this guy's gone far and beyond what a co-pilot could do, and it was he does a great job for us as well. We're happy to be part of our group. So I mess with him quite a bit because it's fun.
It is fun.
But
yeah, he dishes too.
It's not undeserved.
Oh yeah, he's 100% a disher. So.
Yeah, I don't think he'll ever live the intern name down though.
No.
That is for sure. Well, guys, what haven't we talked about? What else? What do we need to add? We got a few more minutes here.
We're really excited about the Drag and Drive Awards. You guys have done a great job in with being more inclusive and Drag and Drive as a whole is a hard thing to wrap your head around and try to pick a top 10, a top whatever, because it is so broad. But you guys have done a great job, and 20-something awards this year is fantastic. And, my hat's off to Mr. Goldstone. I guess I can say that officially now.
Yep.
2 years in a row. But he and his guys, they flat killed it this year. They had more trials and tribulations than most. And I made a comment on a post they put up the other night. So that's why you guys are world champions, because you work hard. So many people do. Chuck Stefanski chimed in here a minute ago. That guy, he kills it. And he I don't want to go into too many details, but his shop had a very catastrophic fire this year, and the fact that he was able to keep race cars going, him and Rick and those guys, they killed it too. So there's so many people out there that do that, and to win the championship more than once, especially back to back, is awesome. And Summit as a company is very proud to be involved with this. It is something new. It's still growing. As time goes on, it's going to become more prestigious. And if you guys don't know about it, hit the website, check it out, talk to one of us. It's an awesome thing for just going to a championship you could win by doing something you love.
Right.
Yeah, 100%. And that's been our whole goal the entire time, is to how do we bridge these events? How do we make these make sense? And point series people are allowed, they want to chase that stuff. They want to, one, it was truly, how do we get people to do maybe one more event than they were going to? And so we've seen a lot of people do 3 events this year. We've seen a lot of 4 event contenders, and then Goldstone does 5. Now for the points championship, you can only take your top 3, and that dude just absolutely knocked it out of the park. Got I'll say this in the award show too. The only way he could have gotten more points is if he had ran a 5-second average. That's the only way he could have gotten more points, and nobody's ever done that. So to tell people how just freaking badass it was that he did that is awesome.
Yeah, and in these awards, like, it doesn't cost you anything. Like, we're going to do these point series, and all you're doing is going to your event. So, like, there's nothing extra that you have to do. We're putting this all together because it's what we enjoy doing.
Yeah. And again, as time goes, this will become more. What's crazy to me, we start looking at numbers of entries. I mean, 4,500 racers this year. Crazy when you start thinking about that. More than 2,700 like week-long competitors. Crazy when you start doing the math on what that takes, and that's why the series, or the whole motorsport, is going to continue to grow.
You one of the shows a few weeks ago, you threw some stats out that really, really impressed me, because some of the numbers you threw out as far as unique racers and the amount of tracks visited, man, that's starting to surpass some of the major sanctioning bodies.
Yeah,
as far as their events, and that's us as a community should be very proud of that.
Well, and you talk about 97 racetracks visited in 2024. That's huge. That's really, really big. I mean, that is, I don't know how a lot of other tracks do their stuff. I know that Tulsa has a couple different ways that people can do their promotion, and it only helps those tracks for racers and promoters and spectators to come in on a Tuesday morning or afternoon. That only helps the track. There's no way around it. It helps the community because everybody's spending money at a hotel that's close. Everybody's eating somewhere close. Everybody is spending money at the track. Hopefully they're buying merch at the track. They're getting all these extra parts and pieces. They're getting their cars ready. They're spending money at all the places. It would be awesome to do a economic impact test on what Drag and Drive does for the entire automotive community.
Sure.
Yeah, because
it's
it's not just burnout. It's not just race tires. It's street tires. It's brakes, because you're worried you're going to go through a set of brakes in the season if you do 3 events.
Yeah.
So anyways, last shout out real quick to Bryant Goldstone. I mean, we haven't made that kind of official announcement yet, but there's nobody that was even remotely close to that dude, and he did 4 events and destroyed the car each event and fixed it. There wasn't anything easy about this year for him at all.
No, they definitely worked their tails off, and we kind of watched them change the transmission at National Trails the last day, and those guys have it so down pat. It wasn't like a mad trash. They knew where everything was. They got it out. They put it in. Everything was very well orchestrated. Nobody was rushed, killing each other, and then still got up there and made the pass to seal the deal for that one. So and there's a lot of good teams out there. A lot of good teams that are able to do that and have their program together. Me, not so much. But
well, you got too many events to attend to bust off and do 3 big
we're
events.
We're definitely having a ball doing it. I know you're about out of time with us, but we brand new truck this year. about 6 months, built the thing. It made 2 passes kind of before we put it in the box and headed to drag week. And so plan is to finish up a few details that we didn't get squared away. Going to finally wrestle Chuck into a dyno someplace somewhere that he's kind of got his feet going in the right direction again since the fire. And we're going to spend some time on the dyno and learn some more about this thing and hopefully even have some color on it this time. So,
it's all one color.
It is a color. Yeah.
It's
We had
the
a ball
same color. It's the same color as my Fox body.
Yeah.
They have the same paint job on them.
Some are murdered out black. That one's slaughtered out black.
Real quick, I want to answer Casey here. It says, when will regional events get added to the awards? We do actually present a number 1 regional quarter mile and number 1 regional 1/8 mile event. Competitor, whoever had the best ET over those events. And again, regional events are very difficult for us because there's so many different varieties. And then I'm trying format is the word I'm looking for, because you have some that are heads up only. You have some that like heads up hustle that runs 2 days of average, and that puts you in the elimination bracket. And there's very few as of right now that run what we would consider a traditional style, which is the drag race to get your best time, drive somewhere, drag race again, and have that drive be at least 85, 100 miles, something like that. It's not really set in stone on the mileage, but it's got to be. It can't be a true street drive. So regional events, as they begin to kind of adopt the more traditional hot rod drag week format, we'll begin to add that. There's just not a ton of those around that did that this year. Everybody wants to create a longer true street drag and drive essentially for their regional event. So anyways, I just wanted to answer that. I saw that come through, and it's coming. It's on the way, I promise. Anyways, all right. Well, y'all, listen, thank you so much. You guys are awesome. We don't have you on here enough, so we need to plan for this more. I'm going to set reminders on my phone after this of we need to do this maybe quarterly or more, just to kind of keep up with you guys and see what's going on. I'd like to maybe hear some more stuff of Kevin's Monza and Alex Panthers here, Grand Marquis, Crown Vic.
Grand Marquis.
Yep, love to hear some stories about that, and we just couldn't do that in this 1 hour.
So real quick, we talked about new events, and I totally left out. I don't want Matt mad at me. You will see a summit truck at Rocky Mountain Mega this year.
Yes,
so,
that is huge. Yep.
We're happy to be a part of that deal. So that'll be new for us this year. And Matt and June do a great job with that event. I think he's totally insane doing the Mega Week double event. But you know what? We're going to be there. We're going to support it. We're going to help some people out. So.
Yeah. So the question is that going to be a good spot for both trucks?
No.
They're just following each other.
We're going to kind of split the middle of the day,
Yeah.
So try to catch both groups. So that
well, and the cool thing is, we're going to be in Texas. So if anything came up on day 1 or 2, you could hit the Arlington store and restock and then be out again. Yep. So it's coming. Yeah. All right. Well, y'all, thank you so much again. I appreciate you guys coming on.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you guys. Thanks for everything you do.
We will see you in 1 week.
Yes, sir.
Bring it on. Real quick, are y'all going to be there Wednesday?
Yes, because we're doing the karting thing.
Oh yeah, but I think that's Thursday night.
Yeah, that is Thursday night. You're right.
Yeah.
Wednesday set up.
Yeah,
I will be there mid-morning Wednesday. Yeah.
All right, cool. Yep, I'll see you then. We'll come by. We'll get our booth set up and then come by. Booth 4904 right here for Drag Driver Pete. Booth 4401 for Summit, and we'll see you next week.
All right, thanks, guys.
Right.
Yep.
Thank you. See you, dude. How fun, man.
Yeah,
we need those guys on more often.
Oh yeah, there's
we gotta
plenty of stories.
Get Kevin out of his shell a little bit, get him talking some more, and tell him more stories. Maybe we just have Kevin on.
Yeah, they've got all kinds of cool stories, especially getting to do all these different events and seeing a lot of different things. So,
yeah, that's for sure. Well, one more time, just real quick, so everybody can see it. Booth 4401 for Summit and booth 1601 for Mahle. And I see Eric Grilliot in the back, so he's going to be on here momentarily. We got just some quick ad reads and talk about some events. So if you want to take it off, sir.
Yep. So Driven Racing Oil is the performance engine oil that can do it all. GP1 is the ultimate oil for any race or performance application, whether launching hard at the drag strip, enduring the extreme heat of off-road and circle track, or pushing limits in top fuel drag boats and demo derbies. Winning racers choose GP1. Compatible with engines from classic hot rods to cutting-edge race machines, GP1's unique surface cling and high zinc formulation ensures superior wear protection, particularly for flat tappet camshafts, while solving issues like cylinder washout with methanol and ethanol fuels. Crafted from the legendary Bradford, Pennsylvania base oil, then enhanced with state-of-the-art additive packages, GP1 offers the best in protection and performance. And you guys know drivenracingoil.com. You can head there and pick up your oil or your merchandise. And then you can follow them on Facebook and Instagram at Driven Racing Oil.
That's right. And let's talk about some events. Last event of the year, sadly postponed. It looks like they're going to have some weather this weekend, so it's going to kind of push this event out, this cruise and chill out again. This is like the third time this happened. So sad, man. Sean Rose just wants to host a dang Dragon Drive event in Texas. Y'all, let's do this. So he's saying maybe sometime in the spring. I'll send him a message. We'll talk about some dates and things like that that can work for those guys. I know that they just want to host an event, man. He's got great tracks, XMRP, Extreme Raceway Park. He's got Texas Motorplex, and they were going to head down to Houston. I don't know if next year creates a problem for a Houston track or not, but this, good luck, man. I hope this works. I want it to work for him. He's been trying, so that's the way it goes sometimes.
Yep. And then the next event, I don't know if you guys have heard us talk about this one or not. PRI next week, booth 4904. Also, Drag and Drive Awards presented by Summit Racing Thursday morning, 11 a.m., room 241. In case you guys didn't know, we were doing that award show.
Yeah, if you hadn't heard yet, we're doing that. Thanks to Driven and the team up there. They'll be also at PRI, and we'll go over that here in just a minute. But just want to say, guys, thank you so much again for being our race car friends. Y'all, we can't do this without you. You truly are. You're part of this puzzle that we're putting together right here. You're riding this rocket ship that we're on, man. It's a learning adventure every day, and I appreciate you guys for all that you do for us. We appreciate that. And just hit the share button as we move on here. I want to say thanks to our sponsors. Without them, we can't do this. I mean, there's just no way around that. We can't do it without Summit Racing, Mahle Motorsports, Driven Racing Oil, Car Chains 3D, WAF Racing, Performa Built Transmissions, J-Wire Solutions, Howard's Cams, who's going to be on just a little bit, Sweet Patina, Power Tube TV, and Racing Junk Classifieds. Y'all, it takes a village to do this and do what we've been doing. And so we just want to say, if you're spending money, please do it with one of those companies. Please, we would appreciate that. And the gentleman's agreement, here's the deal. We work our butts off doing this. I know I do. I know Eric does. Part of the gentleman's agreement is we're going to keep doing this, but we need you guys to hit that follow or subscribe button. Wherever you're watching this, just do that. Hit that right now. If you're not already doing that, come on, let's get to it. We want to be as close to 10,000 by the end of the year on YouTube as possible. So if you're not following us there, jump over there, Drag Driver Pete on YouTube, and hit that subscribe button.
Yeah, we're going to have tons of content from PRI. So
we're going to overload people. So I hope they're ready. And we're going to post a lot of it to YouTube. We're going to post a lot of special exclusive stuff to PowerTube as well. But it will take a few weeks for that stuff to come out. So if you want real time, YouTube, baby. That's what you want. That's where we're going to post it. PowerTube TV is a huge partner of ours. We love those guys. Ray and the team at PowerTube are awesome. They allow us to post exclusive content over there through their content creator development program, which we've been a part of all year. I think we've posted 50 episodes over there that play also on the app that they have, which you can watch on your TV, which is usually my go-to if I'm home during the day. We have that on playing in the background. They do a ton of podcast stuff. They do a lot of old shows or vintage shows or fun stuff like Pastimes and Pinks, which are getting new runs for 2025. And then they also have a ton of exclusive stuff from content creators like us. So it's pretty awesome. They're going to be at PRI booth 7086. It's going to be a huge thing. 10 by 50, dude. 10 by 50. They're debuting a new car they're going to be giving away, and we're talking to a ton of content creators on Saturday morning that are going to be we're going to be live on Saturday with PowerTube talking about all the stuff at PRI. So we're going to be introduced to a lot of other content creators and everything like that. So all right, Mahle Motorsports, man.
Give me just 1 second, okay? I
Yep.
just need 1 second.
Perfect. Perfect. Now we're talking. Now you
Sorry.
look like a race car driver, dude.
Sorry, wardrobe change. I think that's how they do it in like the big shows, right?
Yeah. It's like that's it. That's what we're doing from now on. That's awesome.
All right. Attention high performance enthusiasts and racers, meet the Mahle Motorsports Power Pack Kit, your ultimate solution for power packed performance. The Power Pack pistons are either made from 4032 aluminum alloy to allow for tighter cylinder to wall clearances and improved temperature stability, or the 2618 alloy to allow for increased detonation resistance. What sets Mahle apart? It's their forged pistons, Grafal coating, and phosphate treatment for peak performance and durability. Elevate your ride with Mahle Motorsports, where performance meets precision. Visit MahleMotorsports.com for more details. And as always, for our podcast listeners, Mahle is spelled Mahle.
All right. And just a reminder, Eric Grilliot, who's coming on now, drives that super awesome Nova that we love in the bottom there and does a ton of drag and drives. And then George Wright drives his Duster and was at Drag Week. So these dudes aren't just sponsors. They're also drag and drive racers. That's kind of how this came about. So, Mr. Eric Grilliot, let's bring you on, sir. I want to remove this and say good evening and see how you're doing, man. Are you getting ready for PRI?
Yes, sir. Yeah, doing great, wide open. As you have been expounding on, it is upon us. There's about a month left of work to do in this next week, but we're getting there.
Well, and I think that's one of the hardest parts too, is like we're not gone for a week. We're working while we're there, but like it's so hard to get to do anything. Like I'm not going to sit down and be able to send emails until like 11 o'clock at night.
Oh, you go there and it's like, I'll take care of that in the evening. I'll get all these things done, and yeah, it never happens. Absolutely never.
Yeah, not at all. Well, I want to give you a big shout out. I want to say thanks. Eric is going to be running Mahle pistons in the Drag and Drive Mustang. Love that. I can't wait to lean some boost into that thing and pour some boost into that thing and see what we can do. You know, our first goal is 10-0s, which it should blow right past that. We'll have to slow it down, but it's going to be awesome with some Mahle pistons.
Yeah, no, it's been a good year, busy year for us. We're getting more and more reach into guys that are putting parts into builds, and you know that's the name of the game while we're here. So the more that we can see that come to fruition, it makes it all. It helps justify us getting to do what we do, which you mentioned, go out and race and be there and support the racers, but do our thing as well. So it all ties in and comes back full circle.
Yeah. Right. Well, let's talk about events that you did in 2024. I want to talk about events that you personally raced at, and then I want to talk about maybe some events that Mahle had a booth at.
Yeah, competing with the car, I just made it to basically both of the Race Week or Rocky Mountain events. Went out in the summer, Texas, Oklahoma, and
so hot. It was so hot.
As I think back on that event, I know I was there, but I really don't remember much of it at all when I try to think of what happened. But that was definitely a survive and get to the end type of event for just anybody that was out there. That was insane.
Yeah, the day we went to this leg lamp, it had, man, I can't imagine what it was like in a black car because it was hot in everything. You know, I drive a little Saturn because of the mileage, and the trans temp on the Saturn was like 225. That's bad.
Yeah, amazingly the car did phenomenal for the heat. Never missed a beat. But yeah, the driver in the car took quite a beating, and on that event too, I broke in a new co-driver and took my nephew with me on his first event.
Cool.
He was a trooper though. It was amazing that even through all of that and in the 120 plus degrees or whatever it was in the cab, still found a way to snooze for a better portion of the trip. So something about being young and what that does to you. But yeah, that was an adventure, no doubt.
And then we just happenstance, you passed us as you were, I guess, on vacation at the Havlicks deal. Man, this was so cool.
Yeah, that one we're just out there as a fan. You know, kind of grew up watching those cars and reading about them in the magazines, and had a chance to see a few of them race in person, but more just things that you had seen on paper. And so to get out there and experience that, you know, I was afraid it was going to be a one-time deal and wanted, you know, there's no way to miss it.
Yep.
Certainly glad to hear that there's, if not 100% official, they're definitely talking about putting that on again. So that was quite the deal.
Yeah, for 2025, if people aren't following, he's talking about the Havlicks fastest street car shootout reunion race, or tribute race, I guess what they're calling it. And they've been working on Bob Rieger's 57, that black 57. They've been working hard on it. That car should be like race ready this year. And they're expanding it to 3 days, which I think is a huge win. And then they're doing like a drag and drive class too. So maybe we'll see some cars on the street and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that was another one that just worked out, that could make it out there just to see it and experience it. And yeah, definitely recommend checking it out.
What were some of the other events that Mahle was at? I know we saw them at Drag Week. You know, there was a booth there, but what other events were you guys at?
Yeah, we did Drag Week. We had guys go out to support racers at Midwest, and then certainly our first foray into the circuit. You know, we've known about that for a number of years, had participation, but we wanted to get somebody there on the grounds, and Adam jumped at that opportunity to run out, set up the booth, and check it out. So
I hope he had as much fun as I think he did. I think he really had a good time from what it looked like to me.
He had no complaints getting back, and I don't think we'll have to twist his arm to get him or somebody else back out there. So I think we're in good shape in that regard.
Yeah, well, I'm glad to hear that. I can't wait, man. It's going to be fun. We're going to do Tulsa to Mocan this time, a different part of Route 66. So whoever comes is going to have a blast.
Oh yeah, no, well, and you know, we'll get a car out there too one of these days. That's my intent, is to sample them all, if you will.
Yeah.
Just because that's part of what I enjoy about it, is the variety. You guys were talking about tracks and things of that nature. Getting out to see not only parts of the country that we're not getting, you know, here in the East, getting back to the Midwest and things of that nature, but take race week in the fall, 3 tracks that I'd never even heard of, let alone getting the chance to go out and race at them. So that was probably one of my favorite parts of that event, was just the variety of the tracks in Louisiana and things of that nature that, you know, were completely new, but, you know, awesome places to go out and compete.
I don't know if I've told you this, but dude, I love your car.
It's a great shot.
Yeah.
There's a very long love-hate relationship with that car. I don't know if I've told you this story, but I got that car when I was 14 years old, and I would have to pull a calculator over here to figure out that math. It hasn't always been in that condition. It's been a long road to get it to where it is today. And there's a lot of things that I would do completely different if I were starting over, but it's one of those that, like I said, a love-hate relationship with it.
Yeah.
Probably never part with it, never let go with it. It'll always have some place in the garage.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome.
Well, let's talk about some stories from the year. What was your favorite race car that you happened to see this year?
A little bit biased.
There's a ton at Havlicks, so I'm sure there was some there that probably got your attention.
I think that the 2 that came to mind were Nick Cryer and the milk truck at Drag Week. That package that he put together, which they came up with and said, hey, we want to do this, put some decals on the truck, and we figured out how to kind of fit it into the look and appearance of it, what it was, and just the way that they pulled off and executed that was completely beyond any expectations we had, and it certainly garnered a lot of attention just from I mean, that truck's awesome in what it does, but the aesthetics of what it did too were pretty neat.
Yep.
And the second one, I'm actually going to give George some credit for him to get his car together. He had done drag week for the first time last year, and that, on drag week last year, that was his first time ever down a drag strip. He's had the car for a while and been working on it, but to put it on the drag strip, got it out. And then between last year and this year, where he installed, repurposed the R5, so had NASCAR engine and an old Duster with a TKX behind it, and went out. He had some teething pains, but the car just completely started to fly for him.
Well, and I think he said that car makes like 700 plus horsepower.
Oh yeah, I've got some work to do over the winter. Is what it boils down to. He really stepped up the game, so now we've got some good internal competition and pressure here to see where we can go. But yeah, for the way that car runs, and just with the type of engine that's in it and what he's put together, I'm thrilled to death to see that go out and make the event and bringing it home. And as usually happens, you get it home and you kind of take that week to catch your breath, but then it's okay, what am I doing next? And he's fully in that mode to get it ready to come back out next season.
How cool.
Yeah, we got some cool shots of that, of him down track and the car in front of the booth from drag week.
Did it have the hood on it at that time?
No, I don't think so.
I don't think he ran with the hood at all anytime we saw it.
Oh, and I forget, because we were out at race week at the time. I didn't get to follow. It's one of those. I'll be able to follow what he's doing, but you're in your own thing, and
yeah.
Yeah. So I'm not sure what day it was that the hood decided to exit the chat on the top end, but that somebody caught a pretty good picture of it, or snapped a screenshot of it on the live stream, I think it was. So,
Gotcha.
But, yeah, he had quite the time with that.
Yeah, I guarantee it. And I'm sure at that point it was nice for the airflow and lower temps too.
Well, and
side effect he probably didn't like, but
I don't want to steal all his stories, but given the fact that just a couple of days before the event, he had actually made a drive up somewhere in Virginia to pick it up just to go find this hood, because he knew it was going to fit, it was going to bolt on, it was going to do everything clearance that he needed. So, a used but brand new hood, separate drive. Of course, as you're thrashing to get everything ready, takes the time to go to Virginia to get it, and then pretty much
turns it into a frisbee.
Yeah. So typical drag and drive type stuff. But there's a story behind everything, I think, out there in some regard or another.
Yeah, we need to have him on and hear some of the drag week stuff. That's one thing that really has become tough with this show. I don't think we can extend it to 3 hours, but we've got to get more conversations on here. But maybe Eric and I have been talking about doing this like end of the month. Everybody come on and tell stories, but I don't think that would help either.
Yeah, no, and that's the part. At a lot of the events that we do, just a little thing to give back to racers. We do our gas card giveaway, right? Mm-hmm. But that's simple, that's easy. You could hand them out, everybody would be happy. But we really try to kind of search out just random people, or the guys that are maybe not getting all the coverage that you see nationally. But the amazing part of it for me is that no matter who we've picked, it's like everybody has a story as you get the chance to sit down and talk to them, even ever so briefly, even if they're in the middle of whatever they're doing at that time. But it's like, without fail, every car that we've picked, every driver that we've picked, they've got a story to tell. And it's, I've yet to find one that doesn't, and maybe that day will come. But exactly to what you're saying,
I don't think it'll come in drag and drive. There's too much fun stuff that comes from this. Like, everybody has a reason they're driving that car. We saw a lot of plan C and D cars this year. Like, hey, couldn't get the first one done, couldn't get the second one done. Now I'm on my third one, and they're still having a blast in the third or fourth option to take.
Oh yeah, and some of the stuff that we pick, it's just off the wall because you don't expect it. It's probably been a couple of years, but some guy in a PT Cruiser that was doing just the road week version of it, and not even racing, but yet he had just as much story to tell and things, adventures that he had been on. And he talked about all the events that he had followed and traveled around to see. That's how we met, or I personally met Tom Bagley.
Love that
He
guy.
was doing a road week with a rental car, and we saw the numbers on a rental car. It's like, that's got, guy gets a rental car, does road week with it. That's worth finding out. And come to find out, it's Tom.
Yeah,
And,
that's
so
awesome.
Just it never ends. Never ends.
Well, and big shout out to Tom Bagley, Bagguley. If anybody's looking, for him to come to even come over, it's like $2,000 minimum for him to fly over here to even think about coming to a drag and drive. So for him to do that, and then buys a car sight unseen, drives it from like LA to Oklahoma. I mean, dude's an animal. Love that guy. We need to have him on too. Add that to the list.
Well, we will never have a lack of guests, that's for sure. There's always somebody to talk to.
Yeah,
definitely. Most definitely.
Well, let's talk about PRI because we've got about another 10 or 12 minutes here. Booth 1601 for Mahle Motorsports, but it's not just Mahle Motorsports. You guys are worldwide, huge company. The motorsport division is really your baby. I mean, you've been there a long time, but what can people expect? Like, how do they find the motorsports guys in this, like, what is probably a 20 by 40 booth?
Well, it's not big enough that we'll get lost, and we share that with the other, we call it the other side of Mahle, that is Cleveite bearings. They have Mahle gaskets, Mahle rings. They have their own version of rings. So there's within that entire Mahle booth. Yes, there's going to be the forged piston part of it, but really, if you want to talk Cleveite bearings or anything of that nature, that's who we're sharing it with.
That's awesome.
So anywhere that you can get in there, it becomes pretty apparent where pistons are and where bearings are, and folks that are tied and associated with them. But really, anything engine related, we're happy to kind of sit and talk and have chats about what you're working on and what we can do.
And I think that's one of the coolest booths. Like, you guys have a great display. You guys do. I mean, I'm as large as a company as it makes it. They probably have a whole setup for all this. They have people that do that stuff, but it's really like it's welcoming. Anytime we've been by there, everybody's been nice. Everybody's been helpful. I don't typically build that kind of stuff to need some aftermarket pistons yet. I intend to build a real car at some point in my near future, but the everybody in there is again welcoming and wanting to talk and tell their story and hear the customer story. I guess I hate to say customer because we're race car friends, but answer all that stuff. So that's pretty cool. So booth 1601 for everybody that's out there. That's a long way of saying please go to the booth. Please tell somebody in there that you appreciate them being part of the drag and drive community is what I'm saying.
Well, and it's a good opportunity for the guys that are there. We go to the events and we try to be there so that we have those opportunities to have conversations. But so many times during the events, there's so many other things going on, particularly if you're competing or whatever the case may be, that you really don't have a chance to kind of sit down and talk through or see what you need to do. And it's hard to bring a little bit of everything. So yes, the show was a very busy time, but it's a much more welcoming environment that we can sit and kind of have a conversation about.
Mm-hmm.
Number one, you're not trying to do it in between cars running down the road. You can hear, it's not, there's all these other things are taken out of it. There's a lot to do there, but PRI is an excellent show for being able to kind of sit and work through and get that good one-on-one time with racers and builders and just enthusiasts of whatever nature that they come through. So yeah, we absolutely anybody that's listening to this is we encourage you to come by and see what we do and talk about what you're building and see what the fit would be. Yeah,
absolutely. So do you have a racer or celebrity that you are excited to see at PRI?
We usually, it's amazing we're a week out, but you'd be amazed at how those schedules continue to evolve and change right up almost until the minute that they walk into the booth. But we usually have a pretty good selection from like Team Force, Team Coletta, drivers that will come through. I haven't seen the final rundown yet for this year. Fortunately, I don't get tasked with doing that wrangling. I just get to show up and
That's
see
awesome.
who's there. But I mean, year after year, we've had Force and his team come to the booth, and it's another case where they obviously have a lot of commitments at the show as well, and there's no sport like drag racing, professional drag racing, where you can get that up close and personal with drivers. But yet, even at the races, they still have a lot going on that you're not going to be able to kind of spend that 30, 45 seconds with you. But as they come through, their purpose for being in that booth is to give back, talk, meet, greet with people. So it's kind of a unique opportunity in that way as well, that it's a good chance to get up close and personal. If there's drivers that you want to meet, talk to, say hello to, and compared to, there's a lot of people that are at the show, but you're not competing with the 10, 15, 20,000 people that you would see at a race either. So it's a lot of people, but it's still a very intimate setting for something like that. And there's a good variety, I think, of drivers and such that will be coming through.
Yeah.
Right. I was gonna say there's a lot of hallways with a lot of people, but once you step into a booth, it really that's your area. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it definitely kind of segregates you from the masses.
Well, I want to talk about, and obviously you guys are a big part of our program here. I want to say thanks again, obviously, for that. You guys are awesome. And the trophy we're doing, or award we're doing for the Mahle Motorsports, is probably the hardest thing that we could have ever thought to pick. Is the toughest roadside repair. 47 submissions, 47 nominations, not 47 different people. A lot of people chose, they would put in 2 or 3 different names, whatever. We're kind of down, and I'm going to send this to you with the write-ups, and we're going to kind of maybe talk about this over the next day or so and try and get an idea of who we're going to award this to. But big shout outs to Holly and Alex Rops. Those folks, they tore down 2 engines trying to repair stuff, worked at least 24 hours straight to try and repair it in the Texas Motorplex parking lot, trying to get that truck or their car ready, whichever one they could do. They were one of them. That was wild. That was on Rocky Mountain on 1.0. Bryant Goldstone and Brian Robbins, another big, hard-working duo there. A lot of people were submitting for the drag week deal, where they basically tore down the head off the Javelin. Brian drives an hour, welds up the holes, redecks it, fixes the port, the chamber, all that kind of stuff. 30 hours awake at drag week. Bob Gruber was another person that was nominated for disassembly of his engine. Hang on, I wonder if I put these pictures in here. I don't think nope. Dang it, I didn't. I should have. I'm sorry, guys. But Bob Gruber, disassembly in the parking lot at Motion Raceworks, ended up borrowing a head from another racer to race on. Goes out, wins his class, 880s. Crazy. 42 hours awake is what he said. And that was at Six Summer. And then Jeff Lutz works himself out of parts, completely has no more parts at Sick Week. So a lot of great nominations. Those are kind of our top 4 as of right now. Just trying to figure out, who we're going to award this thing to. Because, man, you start thinking about the year and like how many people had to tear stuff apart, how many people had things on the side of the road where they were fixing. And, these are obviously big things. It's the toughest roadside repair, but there's even easy stuff that's on the side of the road that people have to do. So it's crazy.
No, that's a good, I mean, there's, like I said, I'm sure there's a ton, but that's a pretty good field that you've got it narrowed down to. But I do not envy you at all for having to narrow that down to 1.
Yeah, we're going to be, we may do 2 or 3 next year for that one, the top 2 or 3 stories for that award. Because, man, that's so tough because everybody has a hard time on that.
Yeah.
So, well, cool. Well, Eric, I want to say thanks again. You guys are awesome, huge supporters of us from the very beginning. We've always appreciated that. Mahle's just a cool company, man. There's a lot of really neat things. Jesse Fox and I were out there. I guess it was Drag Week 23, and you gave us a tour around the facility, and a lot of really, really neat stuff within there that you guys can do that I mean, I'm sure everybody looks in a catalog and says, "Oh, well, here's some pistons or rings or whatever." But there's a lot of really cool things that you guys can take and make work. So it's pretty awesome.
No, we're certainly glad to have you guys through, and it's our pleasure. Like I said, I mean, there's lots of reasons that we do what we do. Yes, there's an element of trying to spawn business, but we enjoy it as much as anything. And if you can combine the two of them together, there's no better situation than that. So
Yeah,
appreciate all you guys do.
Awesome. Well, sir, we're gonna let you go. Thank you for staying late at work. I know it's 9:30 out there in North Carolina, and so if anybody's in North Carolina, please, they probably need to call before they stop by, but go by, see the team there. They've got some super cool display engines in the front room. They've got a crank and a rod and piston that's as big as the desk I'm sitting here in front of. It's pretty great setup, and then get you a tour and all that kind of stuff. So
We will see you in 1 week.
one week. Ooh.
It'll be here before we know it.
I'm telling you. All right, Eric. Thanks so much, buddy. We'll see you soon.
Yep.
I'll see you guys.
Bye. How cool, man. I'm telling you, I like that guy. He's smart and drives a super cool car and is a drag and drive racer that, again, that's what we're looking for all the time is sponsors that are part of this community or can provide details within stuff. That's one of the hardest things is finding folks that can come on and explain why you need this, why and Eric's been on before talking about the differences in all the alloys and all that kind of stuff. So, all right, we got to get rolling. We got Luke B up next. We got a couple ads to read, and then we'll bring Luke B of Howard's Cams on.
Yeah, I had one thought real quick, and I want to run this past you. We've got our stickers. Obviously, we've been talking about.
Mm-hmm.
What if we took just a few of them and hid them inside of products at the booths of our sponsors for people to come find?
Yes, I think that would be awesome. Let's do that. We'll sneak around Wednesday evening before the show closes, and we'll hide some stickers, and then we'll go back Thursday after it closes on our way out and see if they're still there. And if they are, we'll move them. We'll replace them.
Awesome.
Yeah, I love that idea. Okay, cool. Well, you want to do the J-Wire while I make that note?
Yep. All right. J-Wire Solutions, expert car and marine wiring solutions you can trust. J-Wire Solutions can wire and plumb your hot rod, race car, or drag and drive car. Plus, they offer products to make your driving experience better, just like the blinker module that is a must for all drag and drive cars. The module will allow your rear turn signals to continue to function while the brake pedal is applied, just like stock. So again, check out all of their products at J-Wire Solutions on either Facebook, Instagram, or head over to their website.
Yep. And then WAF Racing, who's going to be in our booth with some products this weekend or next weekend. Sorry. WAF Racing is a collective of engineers, racers, and hot rod enthusiasts who have come together in one place to create custom parts, tools, and electrical gadgets. With passions for racing, hot rodding, cars, and bikes, both classic and new, you just never know what this group may be working on. Check them out at waf-racing.com and on all their social media stuff. I'm excited about Chris Wozniak being in the booth with us. One, because we're going to get some kind of hands-on stuff with his carburetor tools. We're going to get to see the spark plug holders, things like that. And I may have Jay at J-Wire bring a few pieces as well. We can do a quick little display for him as well to talk about some of the parts and products that he has. And, it makes me think there's this big area on the back that usually has our banner, and it will this year, but maybe for 2025 PRI, we actually set up an area for some of our smaller sponsors to display some stuff.
Yeah.
May not be a bad idea. So we'll look through some of that. But again, thank you to all those guys. And let's bring Luke on here momentarily. We're going to play a video, the intro, and then we'll bring him on and talk about some of the stuff we've been talking about all night.
Yep, let's do it.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Harris from the Monoxide Podcast. Real quick, Howard's Cams was founded as a racing cam manufacturer almost 80 years ago when Howard Johansson created Howard's Power and Racing Equipment in 1945. Howard's Cams has always used on-track experience to design the most powerful designs, and today they have an even greater group of experienced racers in circle track, drag racing, road race, mud bog, and marine. They use all this input plus the most advanced computer software to design the most competitive race-winning products. From pioneers in drag racing and oval track to cutting-edge marine development, Howard's Cams is at the forefront of the industry. So make sure to reach out to our friend Luke B for your next valve train upgrade.
A big shout out to Harris. He's going to be at PRI doing some podcasts there. Dude just crossed 35,000 subscribers. I love it for him. So
I saw that.
congratulations to Harris. It's great dude. All righty. Mr. Howard Scams, Luke B, our boy. Man, let's talk. I'm excited to have you on. You've been on a couple of times and it's always fun. So let's have a blast tonight to round out the show. Next 25 minutes. Dude, tell us what's going on, man. Tell us who you are, what you do. What's this red Ranger that's out in the driveway?
Broken. It's broken again. But anyways, I'm Luke B with Howard's Cams. I'm our sales manager. I do a lot of our media stuff, and I would say our outreach as far as like sponsored drivers, team drivers go. So if you've talked to anybody on the Howard's Cams Facebook or Instagram pages, you were talking to me. So yeah, I am kind of anywhere and everywhere inside Howard's, as well as one of their tech groovers.
That's awesome,
But
dude. And
yeah,
that's really
as
how
far
this
as what's
conversation
going
started was.
on, really PRI is next week already.
No,
What was that?
I was saying it doesn't make any sense that PRI is next week.
Oh yeah, no, I mean, I'm not ready. I don't think anybody really is, but yeah, it's gonna be great to see everybody. That's for sure.
Well, let's talk about 2024 events that you attended and then the events you want to attend.
Well, as I think a few people know, we had a new little one come along this year in the household, so I didn't really get out to as many events as I wanted to. I don't think I made it to a drag and drive event at all this year, but we did have the Outlaw Stick Shootout at Great Lakes Dragway in Wisconsin this year, and man, some heavy hitters showed up for that. One of our team drivers, Nick Coleman, Mr. H pattern record holder, was out there. I don't even know if he made it into competition, but he built his wife a truck. So now they have the black S10 with the purple wheels and a purple S10. And hers is just like 850K, just supposed to be just this mild deal. Well, yeah, pretty sure it's gone sevens by now, but for the Outlaw Stick Shootout, they they hurt Nick's truck or something happens to Nick's truck, but day one, they swapped the windshield out of the 6-second truck and put it in the 8-second truck because her hood popped open and she broke the windshield. And then later during competition, they pulled the engine out of Nick's truck and put it in her truck. So just this crazy fiasco of, you would always think you want to make sure the fastest vehicle is working out there, but he wanted to see his wife succeed, and it was pretty cool.
Man, that's crazy. I didn't know they had built a second truck. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah. His truck will be right across the aisle from ours, from our booth. He'll be in the Red Horse booth this year, so go check out that booth when you're overseeing us.
Oh yeah, for sure. You know we're going to do that. We're going to definitely make our way down Wednesday. You're going to be there Wednesday. We'll come down and hang out for a little bit, and then.
Yep. Yeah, I don't know what time Wednesday I'll be there yet, but you guys know how to get a hold of me.
Right. Yeah, we'll just text you. So real quick, booth number for Howard's Cams is 3221. It's at the Yellow Mall. That's right down kind of from us. You guys just have a great booth and great people. I didn't talk to anybody but you last year, but you guys had a ton of really cool parts.
Yeah. So last year, we've been pushing the belt drives pretty hard. Still, a lot of people don't know that we have those, but last year we put out the whole black lineup because when we first made them Howard's purple, there's a little bit of community pushback on it. So yeah, everybody's got nice black belt drives now. We got our Reaper crankshafts where we always have at least one of those out, and then of course we're offering our camshafts.
That's awesome. Yeah, and complete valve train stuff, like that's really how this whole thing came about, because we all had valve train questions, but no, we didn't have anybody ask. And luckily, you follow Drag and Drive, and you were like, "I know stuff." Here we are.
Yeah. I mean, literally, when I was interviewing for the job at Howard's, I'm like, I want to get us involved with Drag and Drive because there's not really a cam company besides Iski out there that's really like trying to put their foot into it. And I'm like, I think we can really gain a presence. And I met you two guys, and you introduced me to all the Drag and Drive people I don't know, and it's crazy how big of a family it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a blast. And dude, there's so many conversations that Luke and I have about stuff, and then I never buy any of that stuff. But I will one day, I promise. I will.
Oh, it goes, man. Yep.
Well, I got a cam and springs right underneath my desk here with the pile of parts that need to go onto the car. So
Yep.
it's just man, winters in Illinois are not fun.
Neither in Wisconsin. I don't know about you, but up about 40 miles north here, we're having 50-mile-an-hour wind gusts tonight, and it's 20 out. So
Yeah, that's pretty much the same weather as it is here right now. It's miserable.
Yep.
While
Yeah,
Mike's down there with
and-
60-degree weather in
Yeah, I
Arkansas.
was gonna say I was playing basketball with my daughter in shorts earlier, so suck it.
Yeah. No. It snowed today.
We haven't got snow yet, as far as I
Lucky.
know. We haven't had any yet. So,
Yeah.
so I know you had a newborn, but do you have any cool car stories from the year? Did you get out and do anything this year?
Well, this was the first year the Ranger has run since my wife and I have been married. So we have two kids. That tells you how long my wife and I have been married. But yeah, I mean, pretty surreal getting that thing going. Putting a project car away under a cover for the winter. That's an odd feeling.
Yeah.
And putting it away like that, it ran and did burnouts and cool stuff this year. That's always a great.
Yeah, pass people sideways in Mexico at undisclosed mile an hour. Yeah.
That's awesome. And
I'm glad to see you got that running.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it was a long road.
Well, let's talk about PRI, dude, because it's coming up. Obviously, it's next week. What are you looking to do? What's going to go on in your world for PRI?
So, PRI for me this year is actually going to be really busy. We sponsored a drift racer this year, Mr. Christian Catrone, and his beautiful C6 Corvette and LS3 that made way too much power. It really surprised us. But he has pretty much podiumed every event this year. So it's going to be great to basically touch base with him and put him in front of the rest of the crew here at Howard's and make sure we tell him thank you. And I'm sure he's going to be he just sent me an email today talking about how great his valve train was this year. So it's always cool to catch up with our sponsor drivers like that. And obviously Nick Coleman will be just across the aisle from us, like I said before. So just seeing all those guys. And we got some stuff that we might be doing with Mike Cotton in the future again. We helped out with the Pepto car, or I guess he's calling cotton candy now. But even despite all the drama that's going on in the motor trend world, we're still talking about doing stuff with him in the future. So a lot of cool conversations going to take place next week. I'm really excited for.
Well, and you talk about the drift world. That's another valve train reliability life that those guys have to. I mean, they're on the limiter or close to it. For a minute and a half at a time. That's pretty important stuff. So, and again, drag and drive guys, our stuff needs to live while we're driving along and making passes and all that stuff.
Yeah, next to drag and drive stuff, circle track and drifting is, you really got to be right on the valve train and that stuff.
Yeah. And again, we've had conversations with you about, hey, it's fine to not have a custom cam. Just, you're for the extra 0.7 horsepower, it's going to be better to get it now. Speaking of that, sick week is in 53 days. So we probably, like guys, if they're looking for parts, they need to get on it and order some stuff.
Yeah. 53 days in today's day and age is not a whole lot of time.
No.
Yeah.
No. As busy as everybody is, and we have a huge holiday and PRI in the middle of that.
Yep.
People better get to it.
Yep.
Well, lastly, dude, I got to ask, who's your celebrity crush that you're going to meet, that you want to meet at PRI? Who's somebody you're going to be like,
I've already met him, but
please
Cotton's my
come to my
celebrity
booth.
crush. Cotton's my celebrity crush.
Yeah, he's one of my favorite folks to watch on TV for sure.
Oh my God, he's a good time. He's a great guy. Yeah.
I guarantee it. Well, for a guy like you, what is like after hours like, dude? I know Eric and I get invited to stuff all the time, but like you're like a legit celebrity guy. Like people know you, you do cool stuff. What is something like that for you? Like I know you don't just go back to the hotel and go to sleep. So where do you end up?
Oh well, I do for like 15 minutes. I gotta like reset.
Yeah.
But
Right.
yeah, I mean, as of now, I get in on Wednesday night and I have solid plans until I leave on Friday. So it's like you go out to the show, you do show from what is it, 9 to 5 or 9 to 4,
Oh, yeah.
whatever the hours are. You regroup, have a drink, and then it's out to dinner. And then usually after that, you open your phone and there's 12 people like, hey man, we're at the blah blah blah, or yeah, it's a circus, but it's a great circus.
Right.
Yes,
I
it
want to blame Steve Morris. Last year we were headed back to the hotel at like what was like 11 o'clock, Eric?
Yeah, it was something like that.
It was going to be
It was late.
respectable, and it was 3 a.m. when we got done.
Yep.
Yeah, we were both
Morris.
texted, and all of a sudden I'm like, Mike went dark. I'm like, yeah, I shouldn't drink anymore tonight, anyways.
Yeah, dude,
Yep.
dangerous stuff. We'll have to get together at some point and grab a beer or something, or a adult
sure.
beverage to wind down. Man, what's coming up for Howard's in 2025?
2025, we don't have any like huge plans as far as like product releases or anything like that goes. It's going to be an interesting year for us in the oval track world, because for any guys that have done any like late model or B mod or anything like that, IMCA stuff, they recently changed the rules to now allow roller cams. So it has been a flat tappet only thing for forever. And they just released the other day that they're going to release hydraulic rollers, but they're putting a spring limitation on them, and the spring is garbage. So yeah, we're going to break a lot of hydraulic roller cams next year.
Oh wow, dude, that's kind of cool. So I've been trying to learn some of what's the difference in an A mod and a B mod because of my work with Tulsa Speedway, and those guys are next level, man. They're so smart. Like
It is stupid the amount those guys put into like stock head casting, stock block, steel rotted engines. Like
yeah.
Pretty
You'll let us do one more thing? Perfect. We're in. And then they just are gonna find, man, it's pretty wild. There's a guy there that, and I think he actually has a Howard sticker on the car, but he went out and just dominated. This last race I was at, it was a factory stock car, I think. And dude just went out. I mean, those guys are sideways, super cool. Love that and the drifting stuff. I'm not gonna get in one of those cars because I don't need a new hobby, but just amazing, man. Like they're literally trying to get, they're looking for that 0.7 horsepower we were talking about earlier.
Yeah. We had a guy, it's called Race Saver 305, but it's a spec 305 engine. And we changed the cam just ever so slightly. And they were ecstatic about finding 2 or 3 horsepower in places.
Wow. Man,
That's crazy.
That's pretty wild. And a cam being the lifeblood, like that's what kind of drives your power band and all that stuff. I mean, we've had those deep conversations on here before. I don't want to get into that right now. But the side of that, to be able to figure that out, but also move that meat around where that guy can use it, it's that's awesome.
Yeah.
So are we ever going to see the Ranger on a drag and drive, or are you going to build a drag and drive car?
So originally the Ranger was going to be a drag and drive vehicle. It still might be. I mean, it's full interior, carpet, air conditioning, heat, radio, like it's got it all. But I've never taken that thing down a track. It's only made other types of passes, and there's a certain thing that leaves like the the aura of the vehicle after it makes a pass down an actual strip. So I'm like kind of toggling that in my mind. I'm like, what do I want this truck to be? How exposed do I want this truck to be?
I can appreciate that. We
Yeah.
had to pull some ETs down from the circuit site today because a gentleman was looking to do some racing like that and didn't want information out there.
Yeah. I mean, for anybody that knows the greater Milwaukee, Chicagoland area, that's kind of the only kind of racing that exists around here.
Yeah.
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 Well, at a minimum,
you're not going to Route 66.
you could always do like a sick ward or something like that, or come down to the circuit and follow along and at least have a little fun with the truck.
Yeah. I plan to do one with it at least someday, whether it's like taking the turbos off and doing it N8 or really throw people or just rolling out and then getting on it. Just something to do the event with the truck is definitely in my future.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. All right. Well, Mr. Luke, dude, we'll see you in a week, man. I can't believe it. It's going to be.
It's going to feel like tomorrow. So see you tomorrow.
It will definitely feel like that for sure. All right, sir. Well, thanks again for coming on tonight. I know it's you're Central Standard Time.
Yeah, it's not that late.
You're not even you're hours from going to bed. I'm sure the new baby will be up in a couple hours anyway. Or not new baby anymore, but 2 kids 5 times harder than 1 kid, guaranteed.
Not a lie.
All right. Well, guys, listen, if you're going to PRI booth 3221, go see Luke Bead, Howard's Cams. He's best looking guy in the booth. You got to go over there. Got to look him out. If you don't see him, please, dear sweet baby Jesus, at least tell him thank you for being part of the Drag and Drive community. We gotta have you do that. So, all right, dude, we're gonna let you go, man. Thank you very much.
All right. Thanks, guys. We'll see you.
See you next week.
Awesome, dude. I'm telling you, I had fun tonight. This was a good.
Yeah, I did too. I liked the format of this, and got my Howard's hoodie on and did a hat change in between, so I think I covered everybody. It's a good time.
Yep, that's exactly right. All right, well, dude, I think we let's wrap this thing up. Let's get one last night. We need to probably figure out what we're going to do for next Wednesday. Are we going to go live and do a full show? Are we going to probably not? But we'll definitely be at PRI.
Yeah,
in that realm.
I think last year we had the idea that we were going to do a live in the hotel, and I think our best bet is to just go live from the show. Maybe go live a couple different times while we're setting up the booth, and maybe while we're walking around, give kind of a look of what's going on while people are setting up. I think that's kind of would be our best plan, is to do something like that.
I think you're probably right. And Wednesday would be a great day to do that, simply because there's going to be a lot fewer people there. There's a lot of Drag and Drive cars that are going to be on display at PRI, so that'll be kind of cool. I know Ryan Hargett, his car is going to be unveiled there. I mean, everybody's kind of seen it just in pictures and stuff, but this car is going to be on site at the AFCO booth, so that's going to be kind of cool too. I'm going to crawl all over that car. Devin Vanderhoof's rebuild of the convertible is going to be at PRI in the Holly booth. That's going to be a fun one to just look at. I mean, I just want to get close to that car again. And then who else? There's somebody. Oh yeah, Mr. Bryant Goldstone in the Excess Power booth is unveiling his brand new car. So the dude wins 2 Drag and Drive World Championships back to back, does more events faster than anybody, and secretly builds a brand new car.
Yeah. Yep.
Let's go, dude. Let's go. 1 week, guys. Get ready. Thank you to everybody that's made comments tonight. Thank you to everybody that's been out there sharing this, man. We got a lot of shares across the things. If you're watching this and you haven't done it yet, please hit the subscribe or follow button, and I'll send this out here, guys. Thank you so much for being our race car friends. You guys are awesome. Can't do it without you. Please, please, please. If you see us at PRI, we are not too busy to talk to you and take a picture and have fun. And I don't know, just please come up and talk to us. If we are not at the booth, please tell those folks that are going to be working it. We've got 4 or 5 different folks that are going to be there helping us do this, that are Drag and Drive veterans and know what's going on. My brother Steven, Nico Christoferi is going to be there. Richard, Yeah, drawing last name blank there. Who else? Chris Wozniak of WAF Racing is going to be in the booth, and I'm sure I'm forgetting somebody. Travis Wise is going to be there. Revved Up Laser Works, our trophy builder, is going to be there.
Fastest celebrity. You forgetting that one?
Oh, fastest celebrity. Who else? What?
Firebird. Trans Am.
Well, no, sorry. Jason Hurley's not coming this year.
Mhm.
Yeah, his dad passed. Big shout out to him and his family. You know, we're thinking of you. But I think about that all the time, dude. So good luck to them. He's not going to come there, obviously handling things with
That's
his
fair.
family and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, so we're going to be jam packed in there, 10 by 10 booths and 9 people. So, the Redwood Rally staff are going to be there as well throughout the weekend. So, have plenty of folks to cover. But y'all, if you're not planning on coming by booth 4904, something's wrong with you. Booth 4904 right here. Come by, please add it to your app and get it on your calendar. All right.
And
Thank
Thursday morning, don't forget the award show, 11 a.m., room 241.
Yeah, upstairs. So I think I'll have a full map laid out here probably tomorrow or Saturday or Friday for folks to find it easily, so they can go back to our page and look it up. So thank you for being our race car friends. You people right there that are watching here, thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting us. We really appreciate you guys, and thank you to our sponsors, man. We really can't do this. We can't provide this level of coverage without these folks. So thank you to Summit Racing, who was on the first half of the show. Thank you to Mahle Motorsports. Eric Grilliot was on earlier. Driven Racing Oil, who we've got to get on the show. Team Driven, come on, let's go. Let's talk Car Chains 3D. Corey Nicholson, love that dude. Has a ton of really cool products that he offers on Car Chains 3D. WAF Racing, who's going to be in the booth with us. Performer Built Transmissions, who I would love to have come down and hang out at PRI. J-Wire Solutions, who's going to be there as well. He's going to be at PRI. I'm sure we can talk him into hanging out and telling some stories. Howard's Camps, Luke B was on earlier. And then Sweet Patina, man, best dang hand cleaning wipe that hands down. TKO hand cleaning wipe. Get it for yourself right now. Order it now. And tons of other cool stuff. I mean, they keep your car clean, all this stuff. PowerTube TV, huge booth at PRI, booth 7086. You guys can't miss that. And then Racing Junk, we're going to be in the Racing Junk booth on Friday from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. live from the booth. I would love to talk to at least 2 drag and drive racers. The Havlicks, their booth is right around the corner from Racing Junk, so I'd love to maybe have one of them guys come over and talk for a minute. And then we'd love to find another drag and drive racer that can make those times work. So Friday, 10 a.m. to 11 in the Racing Junk booth, and just tell some stories, man. Let's have some fun and, bring some attention to Racing Junk Classifieds, who completely built a whole new segment for drag and drive cars
On the
with us
website.
asking. Yeah, like we were like, please do this. And they were like, okay, 30, 40 cars every week that are on there. So super awesome. All right, that's it. I'm hitting the end button now. Thank y'all very much. We'll see you soon.
Yep. See you guys.
Yeah.